Hello friends, welcome back to the online course on non-conventional machining or advanced machining processes. In continuation of my previous lecture about ultrasonic machining, today I am going to cover the various elements of ultrasonic machining setup. Then we will discuss the parametric analysis of ultrasonic machining process. So let us start with the brief explanation about various elements of ultrasonic machining. Okay, this ultrasonic machining system include the following elements. In that, sine wave generator is there, then transducer, then tool holder, tool and abrasive particles. Now in brief we will discuss all these elements. Now first element is the sine wave generator. Normally sine wave generator converts the 60 hertz power supply, which we normally have the in our labs as well as homes, and this 60 hertz power supply is going to convert into the frequency having more than or equal to 16 kilohertz, and this transducer uses piezoelectric crystals which can have power up to 900 watts, and the efficiency in this particular case is very high, that is up to 95%. Okay, and the piezoelectric crystals are commonly used in the NDT, that is the non-destructive testing, and they are also used for the ultrasonic cleaning purpose, and some other applications like ultrasonic machining, though it having very low power power, then also we are using for the some other applications. And another type of transducer is the magnetostrictive type transducer. Okay, it's have the high capacity as compared to the piezoelectric type of transducer. They can have as high as 2.4 kilowatt capacities, but their machining efficiency, as you can see over here, is just 20 to 30%. But in case of this magnetostrictive type transducer, you always require cooling, so it becomes essential. But the maximum amplitude of the vibration that you can obtain in case of this magnetostrictive type transducer is 25 micron. Okay, let us discuss the tool holder. Now in that there are two types of tool holders. One is known as non-amplifying tool holder and another is the amplifying tool holder. In case of amplifying tool holder, you can get the 10 times greater or 10 times higher amplitude of vibrations as compared to the non-amplifying tool holder. You can get 10 times higher amplitude. Okay, and it transmits the energy, and the amplitude of vibration can be as high as 1 micron to 0.1 micron. Let us discuss the tool holder material and its property. Okay, commonly used tool holder materials are monel, titanium and stainless steel. It should have good acoustic properties also, and it should be higher resistance to the fatigue cracking. This property should have. Then it should avoid welding between a tool and a transducer during the working. Now I will talk about the tool. Okay, normally materials used for the tool are mild steels, stainless steel, brass, and the main properties of the tool material are high ductility and high wear resistance. As far as surface conditions are concerned, it should have good surface finish. There should not be no scratches or machining marks, otherwise they will reflect it on the machined workpiece surface, as well as fatigue failure of the tool will take place because the tool is subjected to very high frequency load changing. Hence, fatigue failure of the tool may take place if it has scratches or the machining marks. Then this type of problem will occur. Okay. Now, if you talk about the tool design, then 10 tool design consideration for overcut should be taken into account at the time of tool design, so that you get the desired shape and the size of the machine workpiece, and you should minimize the fatigue problem. If tool and tool holder are silver brazed, okay, then you can minimize the fatigue problem, okay, by silver brazing of the tool and the tool holder. Okay, let us talk about the abrasives. Okay, there are various kinds of abrasives used in case of the ultrasonic machining. Some of them are alumina, that is Al2O3, then silicon carbide is there, SiC, and boron carbide, B4C. Abrasive hardness should be definitely greater than the workpiece hardness, otherwise abrasive itself will fracture or break rather than removing the material from the workpiece. Okay, now the selection criteria for the abrasives uh, is so while selecting the abrasives, following points should be taken care of the care in that criteria. So hardness, size, life, and the cost of the abrasives we should consider. Then we should consider what is the workpiece material hardness. Is That is also very important to know while selecting the abrasive. It should also be taken into consideration, including desired MRR, that is material removal rate, and the surface finish. These points we need to consider while selecting the abrasives. Okay, and also a low concentration of the abrasive is recommended for default drilling, so that the abrasives and the liquid carrying the abrasives can penetrate inside, and specifically in case of the complex cavities, low concentration abrasives are favored. And the process performance is evaluated in terms of MRR, as we know that, as well as the surface finish and the accuracy obtained on that finished or machined component. So these points are taken consideration for the process performance evaluation purpose. And as we know that function of grain size, that is grain mesh size of the abrasive particles, also considered for the evaluation of the process performance. Okay, normally mesh size selected for the USM process ranges from 240 to 8000. Okay, then slurry medium, the abrasive carrying medium normally selected in is water, then benzene or glycerol. And the low viscosity material or the liquid like water is recommended, so that it can reach to the fine details or the complicated shapes easily. And if it is having high viscosity, then it may not be able to reach to the fine cavities or the fine details on the components. So water gives the best result because of low viscosity. But the problem with the water as a carrier medium is that it collides the workpiece. It corrodes the workpiece. So one has to take care of this also, and this point we should be considered. Okay, now let us briefly discuss the parametric analysis of this ultrasonic machining process. There are various parameters which affect the performance of the ultrasonic machining process. Here I have just mentioned the uh, some parameters, okay, as well as responses with the help of which you can evaluate the performance of this ultrasonic machining. Performance responses means material removal rate, the surface finish, and the accuracy. Now in this slide I have given the fishbone diagram of ultrasonic machining. Okay, it shows you various parameters which affect the ultrasonic machining process. In case of slurry, if you talk about the slurry, the parameters which are affecting the performance of this ultrasonic machining process include the feeding mechanism, then temperature, or temperature of the slurry, concentration of the slurry, or the percent concentration of the abrasive particles in the slurry, then what is abrasive type that you are using, then volume fraction of the abrasive in the slurry, and the size of the glit or the average particle. It normally varies from 240 to 800 mesh size. So these parameters we need to consider for the performance and analysis. Then viscosity of the slurry. If you talk about the viscosity of slurry, then what liquid medium you are using is very important. Then another important parameter is the tool. Another important parameter is the tool. What what type of tool we are using, that means single or multiple tools, uh, that also we need to consider. Then tool material. If you talk about the tool material, then what are the damping characteristics of the material of the tool, and what is the ductility of the material of the tool. Both of these will affect the performance of this ultrasonic machining. And another very important parameter is the surface finish of the tool. Okay, as I have already mentioned, that if scratches are there, or micro cracks are left on the tool surface, it will quickly uh, fail because of ultrasonic vibration and load acting over it. If the finish is not good, this will be reflected to some extent on the finish of the machined component. And also the definitely the geometry of the tool will affect the geometry of the machined cavity. They're going to get on the final workpiece. Okay, then the another process parameter is the workpiece properties. What is the type of the workpiece material will also affect the selection of the process parameter. What is the hardness of the workpiece material should be considered, because according to the hardness of the workpiece you have to select the type of the average particle. Then what is the thickness of the workpiece and what is the strength of the workpiece material will also affect the performance of this ultrasonic machining process. Then amplitude of the vibration is going to affect performance of the process. How much static load is acting will affect on the performance. Then what velocity of the particle is going to hit the workpiece surface, that point we need to consider. Then piezo type or the magnetorestrictive type of transducer is there. What is the power input of the transducer, or the force with which you are here hitting the average particles, which will carry with the workpiece. That point we need to consider. Then frequency of the vibrations also affect the process performance. Okay, and finally there is another parameters which affect the performance of the process, that is the tool holder. Okay, and the shape of the tool holder and the material also affect to the some extent the performance of the this ultrasonic process. And now the question arises is that how to evaluate the performance of this USM process. As I have already mentioned that you can evaluate the performance of this USM process in terms of MRR, material removal rate, then tool wear rate, TWR, then cutting ratio is the another response. Then and this cutting ratio means is nothing but ratio of the MRR and this TWR. Okay, and another performance character is the surface finish and the form of geometries. Okay, so this point we need to consider, and this is a reference through which I have taken the slide material. Okay, so remaining part of this ultrasonic machining we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.
Hopefully you might have enjoyed the lecture. Then please do like the video and know your thoughts in comments. Please do share this video among your friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. After subscription you can press the bell icon to never miss the notification regarding our new videos. Thank you so much.